Well, hi, besties. Thanks for joining this week. I have a very special guest joining. I've been telling y'all I was gonna have some fun guests joining, and I'm finally delivering. Okay, because I know you were tired of hearing me drone on. If you don't know who Elle is, oh my goodness, you must not be on TikTok at the very least because she is Housewives in Chit Chat. She also has a podcast called Hot, as in like, but it's spelled like haute couture, Hot
Yes.
Topics with Peter Panos. I hope I'm saying his last name correctly.
Yes.
And she is also on Instagram. Thank you for joining today, Elle.
Thank you for having me. I'm so
We've
excited.
just been chit chatting beforehand. I mean, she was just telling y'all. She listened to what she was telling me that they found. She and her husband saw on TikTok mozzarella crab sticks, and something
Mhm.
about this like spoke to my soul because I love a good crab cake, and we both were talking about this a moment ago. And now I'm like, damn, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get to look this up and make this for
In
dinner
my
now.
body. Like, I need
Yes.
it. I need it. And I don't want to make it because,
Mm-mm.
like, time. Like, I've got to crack the crab shells and, like, all of that. But if I could just order it and
Oh
they
my
could
God,
bring it
yeah.
to me,
Yeah.
that
You know what? I think we need
sounds good.
to I mean, I don't want to do it, but I think we could. I would invest a few dollars into like maybe one of those delivery restaurants that just does like those viral TikTok
Yes.
food
Yes.
recipes.
I've definitely got five on it, for sure.
Yeah, let's. I think we should do. Mark Cuban, if you're listening.
Like, hello, because why wouldn't you want to partner with us with that? Like,
Absolutely, absolutely. Um,
hi, we're Besties by Bravo featuring Elle, and we're coming to you for 20% stake. We have
um,
kids, so we can't share too much.
no, because they take everything we have.
Everything. Everything.
They rob us daily, and it is so real. And Elle's a mom too. And when I say rob, I mean literally, I could be about to take a bite of something, and you know what I'm talking about.
No.
Mine. And I'm like, no, fine here.
I kissed my daughter yesterday, and she said, "What's that I smell in your breath?"
What? What? Were they? Was it French fries? Was it? Oh.
Even if I tell you, isn't it already gone? I was like, dude, that's weird.
You know what? That's a great point. It is gone.
Couldn't share
Girl,
with you if
forget
I
about
wanted
it.
to. Like, I can't. I
It's not
can't.
here.
My
Um.
mom used to say to me when I was younger, like, cause your kids go to you, even if there's somebody else there, they go to the mom for everything.
Oh yes.
And I don't know why, but I was notorious for like asking her for stuff like fresh out the shower. Like she'd be butt naked, and I'd be like, "Can we like do whatever?" And so she'd be like, "Oh sure, hold on, let me pull out my titty real quick," and that would be her response. Like
You know what I
every
love
time.
though is that the because she was a mother, her titty was not just here. Let me pull it out. Elle reached back behind her
Yeah,
armpit.
you gotta go get it. Yeah, we weren't pulling it from the chin. It wasn't like here, babe. Let me get it." She was like, let me grab that for you. You and your sister sucked the life out of it. Might as well take the rest.
Yeah, I mean here, I'll throw it over my shoulder as soon as you're done.
Sure, no, but
That's where we're
she
at.
would always start off like she was trying. She'd be like, "Oh, sure, yeah, yeah, let me grab out my titty." Like, what the? Like, I can't help you right now.
Digging around in that pocket. Oh yeah, we're well, this is perfect because again, it's Housewives and Chit Chat. That is her account.
And
So
chit chat.
you're gonna get both today, okay? And
Yes.
guess what, friends? You are going to get. Well, you're still going to get a little bit of Scandival because I'm going to have to ask one question, but we are going to deviate finally from Scandival and we're going to talk about Atlanta because it premiered last night. Our
Yes.
girls are
Yes, it
back
did.
and we're
Yes.
going to discuss some of the Jersey you know, it's Jersey.
There's
It's
very
different.
small pockets of goodness in Jersey if you kind of
Exactly.
like zoom out from the Gorga Judice feud.
Mhm.
But it's also not a whole episode worth of good stuff either.
No, it's not. It's yeah. Uh, we're on the same page here. Did you by chance? I'm just wondering. I know you're not like a big Vanderpump Rules person,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if you saw the video going around of Tom Sandoval and his Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras show, where
Mm-hmm.
he is doing the parody that he does of Stacy's mom, but he sings Schwartzy's mom. And the original lyrics of this part of the song are, um, now my brain just went kaput on me. The original
Stacey's
lyrics
mom's got
are,
it going on, right?
yes. So it's, um, I, Stacy, can't you see? You're just not the girl for me. And then it's I'm in love with Stacy's mom. Well, Sandoval, the original lyrics he does are Schwartzy, can't you see? You're just not the one for me. I'm in love with Schwartz's mom, I think is what he originally typically sings. Well, at this show, I should have saved the video to play it so that I could get your less biased opinion of it. He, of course, who doesn't have a biased opinion of Tom Sandoval right now? I would swear he's saying, Schwartzy, can't you see? Raquel is not the girl for me.
I did see that.
Okay, so you heard it and you saw it. I feel like it's the new. Do you remember that Yanny Laurel sound or whatever that everyone?
Yes.
It apparently is the new sound. People are like, no, he's saying Raquel is hot for me. Why would he change the lyrics?
Why would he say that? That doesn't make sense. I know that much, and I just found out that Tom Sandoval and Tom Schwartz were two different people. I found that out. I think on Thursday, and then I just found out, I just got off of What Else Is Going On with Terea, and I just found out that Lala's real name is Lauren.
Lauren from Utah.
Lauren from Utah. These are things that I did not know. I've never seen an episode of VPR. I think, from what I'm gathering, that this man will do quite literally anything to keep us talking about him, and at this point we have to collectively have like a book close moment, like everybody in class, let's close our books, it's time to take a break. You know when the teacher would make you stand up and like shake it off in elementary school?
Oh yeah.
Close the book, shake it off, and then let's put the book in our desk, let's not open it back up.
I agree. I also know I'm still going to have a problem shutting up about it is the thing. It's like one of those things where you know it's bad for you, and yet I'm still gonna keep talking about it. Life has choices.
And this is the one that I'm making. I don't know. The only thing, I always find myself, I'll open up my timeline and I'm like, shut the fuck up about VPR. But then I'm like, okay, how much would I have to say if, remember last year, like that blind item was floating around and people were saying that like Dorit and Mauricio were having a thing. Like how much would I have to say if that had came out to be true? You know what I'm saying? I would not be able to shut up. So I've grown past the point of like, this VPR to like, I get it. It's just not, I just don't get it.
Like, I get it, but not get it. Like, I get it, but yeah. Well, you know, I think that's the thing, is what it comes down to is so many people are triggered by it because of things in their own life. I've had more friends like that, you know, want to talk to me about it that aren't directly involved with the Bravo content creation like we are, who are like, I'm so triggered by it. It reminds me of when I went through this, and I'm like, damn, you know, we know this happens. Yes, it does happen all the time, but like
Gina OC.
Yeah, I mean,
it's the same thing, which is, and this is off topic, but on topic, but this is why I was so upset in OC when they were mad that Shannon was like, okay, I have to say something. And then Gina went and spilled the beans before Shannon could. But it's like, for Gina, it's like, dude, I've been there. I've been in the room with the person that my husband is cheating on and been the only person in the room who didn't know what was going on. Like, I'll be damned if I contribute to any sort of similar feeling, you know?
Exactly.
Like, that's a girl's girl. Like, isn't that what you want? I didn't understand
1,000%.
the heat. Tell me.
I agree with that.
Every time, tell me.
Well, you know what? But it's not totally off topic because we did finally get that OC trailer. And I never really felt like we needed Tamara off the show. I'm glad she's back. And I think sometimes this happens with our housewives where maybe we just get a little tired of someone. And that's what, I mean, I don't know. Rinna is a good example that I think we all just collectively got tired of her. And I'm a little concerned about that season that's coming up. And even Erica was saying like, no, it's boring as hell.
I feel like with Tamara, me personally, I never got tired of her. What I wanted was Tamara outside of Vicky. And Vicky wasn't going to let that go. And I
No.
feel like Vicky was kind of holding Tamara back a little bit. And it seems as though the execs, the Andy was like, listen, the only way that like Vicky isn't going to like throw pretzels at all of us is if we let you go as a unit, but we'll invite you back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is how we stay safe type situation. Yeah. But with Rinna, and I think this falls into like the New York darkness of it all as well. The problem for Rinna is every franchise has a villain. There is somebody that fits this archetype because at the end of the day, this is entertainment, right?
Yep.
And we can go into, like, because I'm not trying to compare what Rinna did to Yolanda was horrible. How Rinna has acted in the past with Kim was horrible. So I'm not saying that those things don't mean as much as racial issues. But it got to the point with Rinna's hate that it wasn't... Lisa's thing with Kim was specific to Kim. It wasn't like she was like, I want everybody who suffers from alcoholism to like, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? It was a Kim issue. Her issue with Yolanda, even though it was Munchausen, it was a Yolanda issue. We weren't making fun of or trying to trigger or triggering other people with Munchausen by proxy. You know what I mean? But when it came to Giselle, it became Garcelle. It became an issue that was bigger than just Garcelle.
Right.
And so that's removed. Now, just like New York, Beverly Hills has existed for, I think Garcelle came on season 10, if I'm not mistaken. So it existed for 9 years with no woman of color.
Right.
They never had to talk about the issues. You had the one girl. Was she Beverly Hills or was she OC?
Oh, we're talking about Noella?
She was Beverly Hills because I was Brandy. The girl in the pool. What's her name?
Oh my God, Joyce. When God, yes, when Brandy said that about her being able to swim.
Joyce was a woman of color, but not the same. Like, you know what I mean?
No.
Like, she came
it's not
in.
The same.
It wasn't the same. It wasn't the same as Garcelle, and so it became this issue that spanned. And so when you look at it and you say like, oh, the drama is gone. I get how that is boring, right? But then for Erica, it's like the thing that you were considering entertainment grew to a point where it was harmful to a group of people.
Well, yes, because Rinna was, and this is something, you know, part of what I have a hard time with too is sometimes like I get overwhelmed. Like last season with Beverly Hills, I think a lot of us were overwhelmed with all the stuff. And by stuff, I mean like drama that wasn't on camera, you know, all of this. And it's like, it's frustrating that we never got to prove who sent that bot attack on Garcelle's son. But there was something that was so, these women they're not really taking in exactly like when Garcelle will over and over have to explain something to them. The best example is literally Garcelle, the last season, had said to Kyle about her saying to her, look, you know, saying when you insinuated that I didn't pay for the charity auction that I won, you are not grasping that the stereotype of a black woman or a black person in general of not paying, you know what you're saying. And then at the reunion, this last year reunion, Kyle she's just so like, she didn't get it still, because when they were talking about the Hermes bag, I don't own one. I couldn't even remember the freaking name of it. The Birkin.
The Birkin.
Yes.
Yeah, she had a Kelly.
Yes, and she bought it, and she said, oh yeah, Garcelle's like, I left it on the dining room table for like 3 days because I couldn't believe. And then Kyle thinks she's being cute and funny by saying, oh yeah, because that means you had to pay for it. And I was like, Kyle, Jesus Christ.
Like, just shut up, dude. Like, just shut up.
Yes, and that's the thing too, is like there's so many things. There's so many things that like, and I think Rinna on social media, she was so out of control. There are some things I'm not even remembering that she did or did not say on social media because she would post and delete so much. Yes. I know at some point she tried to, I don't know if she insinuated or if she full on said it. It's Rinna. She probably full on said it. That if you went after Garcelle for anything, she was claiming that it was just having any type of issue with Garcelle, then everyone would be like, you're a racist. I never heard anyone say you're a racist when you have an issue with another human being.
Right.
I only heard, no, like, it's, so it's the stuff that they're not stopping. They're saying the words that they understand what they're doing is wrong. And okay, I'm learning my lesson, but they're not learning the lesson. That's where the problem comes in there.
Part of that is Bravo. And honestly, it's the thing that I grapple with when it comes to Beverly Hills, like watching it or not, because what Rinna said in that post was, if you have any issue with Garcelle and you address it, then you're a racist. And if you pussies have a problem with it, then you know what I mean? Right. So just following the trajectory of the sentence, the pussies would be the group of black people that have an issue with it, right? If you take that same sentence and insert the LGBTQ plus community and insert the Jewish community, Andy Cohen would have identified the problem. Please, let's not forget, Marlo just got her peach last season, season 14. Please, let's not forget that the reason Marlo didn't have her peach was because of the fight in Africa where she called Sheree's group of friends the F word. And Andy took offense to that. My thing when I say that is, it's not like hypothetical. We have instances where Andy immediately stands up. Andy inserted himself in the anti-Semitic conversation with Kanye, even though there was no affiliation to Bravo, right? Because that's his community, as he should have. But you identify it. You know where the line is. You know when it's wrong. But when black people, for Jenny Wynn, there had to be a petition to get her off of the show. We had to go all the back and forth with Lisa Rinna. We don't identify anti-black rhetoric and behavior and then stick to it the same way we do when it's other marginalized communities. And that is the problem for me. There's no reason for the Housewives to stop.
Well, and that's the thing too, is it's a good point. If he's not personally, yes, if you have personal identification with it, then yes, you absolutely get into it. But what it comes down to as well is, if you are a representative of the network, then you need to say something.
Thank you.
You know, like, just best example is like, if someone comes on my, I don't know, Instagram page or on my podcast, and they're saying, if they've said something, or, you know, that maybe it doesn't have to be on my podcast, but I had them as a guest and they go and say something that, and I'm made aware of it, then yes, even if I had nothing to do with them saying it. These opinions are not
the opinions of Bravo by Bestie and Caitlin Marshall herself. Like, you've got to do the thing.
You have to say something. You know what I mean? Hello. Like, it's simple. And you know, it's, you know, something that I do like. Now, I didn't have time to watch the first half, because when I put my son down last night, I'm really excited to see this Martha's Vineyard, the Summer House Martha's Vineyard. The second half, the last half looked good. I just couldn't get to the TV in time. Yeah, same. Yeah, it was just the last.
Recorded. When I get off of this, I'm actually gonna put it on in like work. But I'm very interested, especially in a place where, broadly speaking and traditionally speaking, we weren't really represented.
Yeah.
And so I love the idea that these are a group of black people and they're not athletes. They're not rappers. It's not, we're getting ready to see black people and all different types of black people. And I know we scream this all the time on the internet. Being black is not monolithic. There's more than one way to be black. There's not a right way. But when you hear it and then when you see it, they're two different things. You know what I mean? So just to be able to have the opportunity to witness a cast full of black people, just human, on TV. We get to see that in different groups and in different spaces. And there's no need for a storyline. They get to just be human and do human things. And I'm so excited to see that.
And they don't have to be plopped into a room of only white people.
Also, why would you introduce Garcelle, the first black person on Beverly Hills, and then just be Garcelle? Just one woman of color. And it's like, they can't get no backup.
Yeah, I mean.
Crystal, too. Like, God, dog.
What? Oh, my gosh, her name just flew out of my head. Not Charisse is not her name. Who they had her on. She was married to Will Smith for a moment.
Sheree.
Thank you. Like.
Oh, wait. It's Sheree on Atlanta. She's Cherie. Spelled the same way, but she's
okay. I almost called her Charisse, and I was like, that's not it. But I mean, brought her, but
But
I
that
don't
was
know.
Garcelle's pull. Like, that was her kind of bringing her in. You know, she was on Hollywood Exes back in the day.
It is Beverly Hills. You're going to tell me there are no other black women in Beverly Hills or in Los Angeles area that are wealthy? Give me a break.
I don't even, like, listen, Kamora Lee Simmons, she said she would take the call again. Lisa Nicole was also on, not Lisa Nicole.
I know you're...
Nicole Murphy. Jesus Christ.
Murphy. Yeah, I was like...
Lisa Nicole.
Listen, you know what it is? I think it's hard because we have to get so like hyper focused on what's on right now, and we get like because of all the details, especially if there's anyone new introduced. Sometimes it really is
overwhelming.
It does. It gets very overwhelming. Like I know it seems
Very,
simple.
very overwhelming.
Because then now I'm wanting to call someone else Courtney, and I was like, wait, this new girl on Atlanta, her name's not Courtney. It's not Courtney. And I'm like, no, it is Courtney. Caitlin.
It is Courtney, and it's. Listen, my rule of thumb that none of the execs at NBC pay me for, but it's my rule. I feel like every housewife should at least get 3 seasons. Excuse me. First season, you're getting used to the camera being in your face. Second season, you're going to make the hard adjustment. Third season, we'll be able to see who you really are.
Totally.
I think that should be a minimum. You can't judge it off of one. However, they could go ahead on and edit the Courtney girl out the rest of the season, and I will not miss it. I've never witnessed a floppier first episode.
So I was so excited. And wait, why don't we just get into Atlanta? You know, it's still, I'm a little confused, and I know we have some notes here, but I feel like Atlanta, we have a lot of the right people, and it's not, there's a factor missing, that X factor.
Like, turn a puzzle piece the other way or something.
Exactly. And it's like we need now. Is there really another Nene? No, not really. Is Nene ever coming back? I don't. From what I'm seeing, probably not. Even I don't even think putting Portia in there. I don't think there is someone that they need that is going to literally like bust down those doors the way Nene does. And
we need somebody who does see the charm about Nene and then even Vicky Gunvalson is they had no media training. They didn't.
There you
know.
go. Yeah.
Even when you put Nene up against season 1 Housewives, right? Lisa, she was Lisa Hartwell at the time, but her husband was in the NFL Falcons. Okay, you already know what comes with that. Before that, she was with Keith Sweat. You're aware of the media, babe. Okay. Deshaun's husband was NBA. You're aware of the media. Kim Zolciak was not. Nene was not. Sheree had Bob. You're aware of the media. The 2 breakout stars on that cast were the women who did not know, quote unquote, how to play the game, right? You need that again. You need somebody who doesn't really watch the Housewives and has like a business. And those people exist in Atlanta. But as long as we keep casting women who were like, okay, the camera's there, don't look there. Okay. All right. And then their media person is in the room and their lawyer is in the room. And you're thinking like, oh, this is going to get my company some sales and take the picture. And you're not going to get the effect of what we were looking for. Even with Bethany.
Right.
Season 1 New York. You're not going to get that.
No.
From women like Courtney.
No. I mean, because that's such a good point, because the way she kind of like, I'm very confused as to why Candy was quite so triggered by her. I was just sitting there watching and I'm like, is this girl, at first she wasn't really, I don't know, she felt more like a fan. Okay.
Yes.
And I was kind of like, I was kind of surprised to see Candy get so upset at first. I feel like there's something we're not hearing, or we're missing something. My
last note for the show says Courtney was annoying, but I don't think it was worth a headbutt. But like a headbutt. First of all, a headbutt means I hurt too.
Exactly. I have to hurt my own face as well.
We are in pain. You know what I mean? You know how mad you got to be at somebody to say fuck the pain that I'm going to inflict on myself.
Yeah.
She didn't say she wanted to trip her. She didn't say she wanted to smack her. She
No.
didn't say, get this heifer out my face. She said head, but cranium to cranium.
Yeah.
I didn't think that it was that. Also, I was confused. Did someone say that Courtney was a friend of Candy, or did Candy tell somebody that Courtney was her friend?
Thank you. Okay. Because I was like, am I just not paying close enough attention? What, it's about as confusing as Pizzagate is to me with New Jersey. It's like really like, so, okay, we'll get to that. But
You're like, so there's individual ovens that were, okay, cool.
right. So, yeah, sure. Okay. Because it's basically the Pizzagate, I think they are basically waffle makers for pizzas. It's just, that's what it looks like to me. So
Easy bake ovens for pizzas.
yeah. Okay. Here's the other thing.
Oh no.
When because really like
tired,
not
it's
a whole
all
lot
fine,
happened.
Joe.
I normally get like crazy with my notes. I'm not gonna lie. I either get real
Froze
crazy.
for a second, so I don't know what you said.
Oh, I'm sorry. I normally either get real over the top with my notes, or I can keep it pretty succinct. And I was kind of like, not as much happened as I expected. First of all, Drew was nowhere in this episode. What? I'm a little confused. I know Ralph was saying, "Oh yeah, and we know what ends up going on there, right?" But it's episode 1, and I know her father was sick. And listen, let's just be real about it. Yes, Ralph showed up because they needed the paycheck. One of them had to show up, right? So
Yes.
okay, fine.
And he is friends with Ross. Like
Mm-hmm.
they whatever. But the thing that got me was, your dad is sick. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't we just say her dad is sick? Why did we make it weird with like it's a family crisis and this like
Yeah.
her dad's sick. I wanted to come celebrate Ross. And we wouldn't be talking about this anymore. We wouldn't have a conversation. Also, whoa, you're not at the first episode. Also, the fact that when Sonya said Drew's name, she insinuated that they still had an issue from last season literally made me want to throw up. Because their issue last season was such a nothing burger that if I have to watch this for another season, I'm gonna headbutt somebody. That's what's gonna happen.
And this is the thing is like, I truly, short of Candace on Potomac, I don't feel like there's any other franchise that the women are as quick as they are so, I mean, they have the thought of how to their comeback is out of their mouth before I've even registered what someone has said. You know what I'm saying? Like it is. So when we're going with a story, if this becomes the storyline, the through line of this girl supposedly saying that she and Candy were friends, like, and then she's mad that Candy was asking about her, thinking she said they were friends, and come on,
Also,
y'all are better than this.
Let me tell you something. Atlanta is this big. You hear me? Mm-hmm. This big. Atlanta is very also unforgiving. You can meet the one person, have a wrong interaction with that person, and baby, every door in Atlanta will shut. It's not everybody. When I tell you everybody knows everybody. So I used to do the party circuit back in the day. I managed one of the top party promoters for clubs and stuff in the day. So I was in the entertainment. Everybody knows everybody. So the fact, number one, that Candy could not say at all, like, oh, I've at least been at a party with her. I've seen her at a dinner, right? Like, Atlanta is one of those, I've seen her, but I don't know her.
Okay.
Cities. You know what I mean?
At the very
Whereas
least.
at the very, very least, you've seen her, you've been in a building with her. So for Candy to be like, oh, I know her friend, but I don't know her, was weird as an ATLian. And then it was like, girl, who had told you? Because again, we all know each other. Who was there that I said, oh, I know this girl, I don't know this girl, that came back and told you?
Right.
It's giving you made this story up. Very poorly at that, because we're all confused.
See, that's interesting. My ex and I at one point almost moved to Atlanta, because and that's interesting. I've never been to Atlanta, and that's we were close to moving there. Just I mean, I was like, oh, it's so pretty there, and then you can drive if you really want to drive to the beach, you can, and and the pricing was better than Los Angeles at the very
Oh,
least.
for sure.
Yeah, and the homes, everything was beautiful. So I was like, oh my God. So this is interesting to know that just in hindsight, this is useless information, but just thinking about it now, that's really interesting because, I grew up in Edmond, Oklahoma. And
Okay.
so what's funny is it's not necessarily like that. But everybody you either are one of those people that everyone knows or no one has any idea who you are. It's a weird thing,
It,
right?
it's right, but it's small. Like so, the high school that I went to, my freshman year, which was Candace's graduating year, they had not divvied up the school. So I want to say at that time her graduating class was like 300, class of '05.
Oh my
Might have
gosh.
been like it's small. Even my class, I think we graduated. I don't even think we hit 400 if I'm being
Wow.
completely honest. So again, everybody. But my freshman year, before they added some new schools to the district and before Hurricane Katrina, because we got a lot of people from New Orleans, the graph for our high school, they had a population graph and it was 5% black. White and Asian American made up pretty much the rest of the graph. So it's like, you know me.
Got
You
you.
know what I mean? And then once you leave there, so that was like the south side of Atlanta. Once you leave there, in order to get out to Atlanta, we all got to come out the same place, so to speak. So we all
You go back.
know each other, right? And then I left there and I went to Savannah State. So I went even further south. So it's like, oh, you're from Georgia? Where?
Yeah, because that's you went down to the Georgia.
Yeah, no,
that
like it's
southern. Uh-huh.
definitely it's its own little like I don't know. It's weird. Like some of my friends that I went to high school with went to the attached middle school with like Gerald Levert's daughter, and like things like that. Like people knew, what is it, Keith Sweat and Lisa Wu's kids. Like people knew, like you know what I mean. Like everybody knows somebody in Atlanta, and that I'm still talking like '05 high school level. Courtney, who are you?
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And, well, because it did see like we were kind of agreeing on before, like it was almost like a fangirl moment because she was saying something nice about her. I guess like she wasn't talking badly of her. She was like, I have nothing but nice things to say about Candy. But I think it was the moment when she started talking about Candy as if she weren't standing right there, which I think is so rude. Like sometimes you kind of do that in conversation. I get that, but it was like, no, y'all are kind of in a slight confrontation at this point. Like, don't be
And
like
you're not even addressing her. Like you're like gesturing at her and all of this, but you're not talking directly to her.
because that's weird to me. I can't like I'll never forget this one. Let me make this more anonymous here. There was this one girl that said to someone that I had just met, and she'd already been kind of rude to me. And she looked at the person next to me and she goes, oh, as I hit my mic, she looked at the person next to me and she goes, is she coming tomorrow? And I was like, she is coming, yes. She is joining.
She is
So
also standing right here.
yeah, and so
Ew.
that's the way it kind of felt like she was doing that a little bit to Candy. Like in
Like,
that
not you
moment, it was
knocking
just too
Candy
blatant.
down a peg.
Yeah, please. Come on, like listen, anyone can say anything they want about Candy, but she's not just a triple threat. She's like a quadruple. Take it further.
Keep a bag burst. My two favorite moments of last night was number one, the KFC commercial.
Yes.
Candy know how to flip anything into a bag, and I love it. And
thought it
then
was
number
cute.
two, Marlo like, oh, Candy needed to do something because Broadway ain't working out for her. Meanwhile, she's Tony nominated. Like,
Please.
gag.
Marlo needs to worry about going to the chiropractor after wearing those earrings in confessional.
Me and the boy. had mason jars on her ear. Like,
there you go. That's
me and the boys are in therapy. You're like,
I was like,
what about your earlobes?
are you okay? You're like gonna. Oh my gosh! Like you, can you imagine? Like she literally could not move her neck at all. There's no way.
No. The people at Chanel were like,
no.
Y'all want the display? They're just displays. And she's like, no, we have a vision for it.
It was the Christmas display.
Here, pass it down.
You want what now?
I literally, my husband, he was in another room. He was playing Fortnite, and I was like, dude, get your, like, you have to see this.
I mean, I could go for days. It's like, I don't even,
those earrings go up there with Marge's hat from earlier this season.
Or even Candace's hat from Girls Trip.
Candace's hat on Girls Trip. Definitely. No, yeah. It's the earrings. It's Candace's hat. Yeah, no, good job.
Those earrings were the size of Candace. She basically had two Candaces dangling from either side.
If Candace got in a yoga pose and then they picked her up. It's avant-garde. You wouldn't understand.
It's Les Archives.
Ever heard of the Met Gala? Anna Wintour loved him.
Oh my God. I can't.
It's French. You wouldn't get
it. Exactly. And, no, it's a different type of French, but okay.
when I was in Barcelona. That's where she got him from.
In Barcelona.
I spent the summer in Barcelona.
I would probably be that girl. I can't even. I totally would. I'd be that idiot that came back like, I'm sorry, I can't understand you.
It's because I spend all the time in Barcelona, so I don't understand.
Yes.
And they're like, Caitlin, babe,
bitch,
stop.
Stop
But do you want a margarita?
You're from Oklahoma. Get out of here. Go home. God. You can barely count to 20 in Spanish. Actually, I can't. Yeah. Well, that's the other. Listen, it's we have direction, and then we just go wherever the wind blows us. I'm just gonna be honest here.
While we're on confessional looks, and forgive me for even speaking poorly about the soon-to-be EGOT winner, but the fro look.
Oh, you're not feeling it. You didn't like it. I don't know. I think I just liked. I liked it.
I loved it for her. Not you got me snorting.
Oh, you're a snorter too. Okay, yeah, you're in good company.
I genuinely enjoyed that for her.
For her, it's so you're saying it in the way so because some people don't like to refer to Oklahoma as the South, but listen, we say y'all roundabout fixing to get ready for supper, so it's close.
Oh,
and I know
Southern.
You're from Georgia, so what you're saying is, oh, that's so cute. I could never wear that.
That baby, look at the toenails on that baby. Bless his heart. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So precious. Bless your heart. Y'all come on here and get some sweet tea.
Don't you know they just grow out of those things, don't they?
No,
you hope.
A nice Southern mom. Well, that was like my Matthew. He was uglier than a duckling when he came out too. And you're like, ma'am, who called my baby ugly? I didn't know he had something to grow out of. My Matthew had that same issue. Just as ugly as the Dickens. They'll grow out of it though.
They grow out of it.
Cutest little eyelashes.
Yeah. Oh, he'll grow into himself.
Just keep some socks on him. You know they always gotta tell you to put some socks on him. Just keep some socks on him. He'll be all right. Doesn't need socks, Angela.
Right? That's where they lose heat. And if you have a summer baby, you especially know about that.
Oh, you have a summer baby too?
I do. July.
September.
When's yours? Is that when yours is in July?
Yeah. No, September.
September? That's still summer. Ooh.
Listen, I was in Georgia.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It wasn't cute.
It was, I thought it was hard when he was in there and it was hot. It was afterward.
It's because they learned to walk in the summer too. So now you're chasing them in the summer. Mm-hmm.
Honestly, thank God for sandals, though, especially right after, because those those puppies of mine were not just barking; they were crying and howling. And especially right after. I didn't know I still had ankles.
I didn't have the ankle issue. Now I had the hormone issue. So for like the first 8 weeks, it was like my body was like deodorant. Ha! We laugh in the face of that. Like I when I tell you for those first 8 weeks, if there was an underarm hack, I tried it. But those babies just stunk. Now my ankles, they were good. Stomach went down a little bit, but who cares when you can't? Nobody can stand next to you because you stink.
Oh my God!
Like it was horrible.
And all it took was like, did you do? Whenever they would start crying, I immediately started sweating, and it wasn't even just like I know exactly because it wasn't just the breastfeeding issue. It was like I would immediately get a hot flash when he would start crying. Oh my God. I remember in the hospital, I was like, what's wrong with me? Make it stop.
I didn't have any of I had weird issues. Like, I never had an anxiety attack or anything that I attributed as one until I had her. And it would be for like the dumbest stuff. Like if I would leave the room and my husband would be in the room with her and I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna go upstairs for a nap. By the time I laid on the bed, I'd be like, did he hear me say I was going to take a nap? What if he leaves her on the couch? What if she fall? What if somebody comes in the house? Like the what
Oh, the
ifs.
OCD effort was real. It was real.
Oh my God. I was like, what? And I didn't care about these things. Like
No.
No. And now I can't, it'll stress me out.
Yeah, like the thing where like, oh my God, I'll never forget. Wondering if I should give him the pacifier. I'm trying to sleep. I'm exhausted and I'm like, the pacifier, oh my God, I'm Googling. I'm like, is the pacifier going to be bad for him? Is he going to die from the pacifier? Oh my God. Anyway, yeah,
Samesies. Like samesies. My milk didn't come in, so I only did about 2 weeks of breastfeeding. So then I had to make the choice to do formula. So that was like hard. And my husband's like, "What are you gonna do? Like she's not getting enough food." I just suck, and I can't. I'm supposed to be able to make the milk, and so I suck because I can't make it, and I suck because I'm giving her formula. We also weren't gonna do pacifiers. And one person, thank God, I don't know who it was. Thank God to whoever didn't listen to me. I literally asked people not to get me pacifiers because we're not gonna do the pacifiers.
Oh.
One night I was in the room scrambling in her nursery, like I know somebody gave us a pacifier. I'm flinging out gifts out of the thing. I found it. I was like, it was a Tommy Tippy pacifier. I'll never forget.
Oh yeah, that's the kind. Listen, he's turning 2 in July. Which now I'm like trying to
wean them off, but they're so cute with it.
I know.
My husband had to like pin me down. I was like, dude, this is up. She had hers until she was about 2, and I would clip it on her, right? So she would catch an attitude. Like if you told her something, she would get an attitude, and she would like pick it up and like pop it in her mouth and walk off. And I used to think it was the cutest thing, where she would pull it out and she'd be like, more, and pop it back in. Like not you asking for food and pop. I just thought it was so cute. Like, she's so cute.
They are
and my
cute.
like, I know you're enamored by her, but like she's a person. She's really cute. Like we have to stop doing this. And when I took the pacifier from her, she was depressed for like a week, and I was depressed with her. I'm like, I know your dad said we couldn't have it.
Oh my God, I know. And like, I've been trying to just stick. I'm trying to just do it for the naps. Once I got him to sleep, that's when like the OCD really kicked into like sticking to the schedule, because he did not sleep at all, like at all. We tried the snoo. I was
doing the things.
Oh yeah, and I was really blessed with I had like a normal milk supply, but that first night, oh sorry friends, we are off topic, but I'm going to tell you this.
Housewives and Haitian chat.
Exactly. If you are pregnant, about to have a baby or anything like that, please please look into how you start the breastfeeding journey because, oh my God, I let him nurse for almost an hour on each side that first night. Now, your nipples are not ready for that.
No.
They turned black. My
Yes, they
nipples
did.
turned black.
They did. That's the part nobody told me. I have heard so many breastfeeding, it's so beautiful. Nobody, not one bleeping person told me how painful it was.
Oh,
so
it hurts like
for
hell.
the first 2 weeks, the hospital that we had her at was like a breastfeeding or breastfeeding hospital, so they didn't even have pacifiers in the hospital. They encouraged breastfeeding. They had the lactation come to the room, all of that. We got home, and in order to breastfeed, he would hand her to me, and I would sit there, put my knees up, and I would bury my toes in the mattress and on the sheets. And he'd be like, "You ready?" And I'd be like, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Nobody told me. And that was what my lifestyle business was before Housewives and Chit Chat. It was founded off of all of these conversations that I had after I became a mom. And it was like, I would share it with somebody and they'd be like, "Oh girl, welcome to the club." I'm sorry, you knew? Nobody
And you
said
didn't
a
say anything?
thing. And then I would hear that, and then I would hear somebody thing, and they're like, "Oh, I feel like I'm the only one." I'm like, if I'm talking to 5 different people, and they all feel like they're the only one,
There
like
you go.
we have to be able to come together. So we would do these, I call them self-love day parties, and I would have like unlimited sangria, and we would just like do activities that kind of just encourage talking, just to allow people to see like it's not just happening to you.
And that's the thing. I mean, I will never. I'm such I like researching on things and I like being prepared, but my God, I'm going to tell you
We overdialed it there.
when I say I am traumatized by not sleeping during that time, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing and I thought I would have an idea. My dumbass actually thought that having to get up in the middle of the night and pee 5 times was quote unquote preparing me for what it would be like. Absolutely not. No, it did not. No, it did not. That's funny, right? Funny.
Not at all. But I now, first of all, I have a like newborn nighttime routine that I really feel like is like self-help bookable. Like I feel like it could really change the world. My daughter's nursery Jack and Jill to our bedroom, and aluminum foil has cupcake tins, and I know Tommy Tippy has them. You can buy them, but they're cheaper. Aluminum foil has cupcake tins, and they're foil. They're like aluminum foil, so they stand up straight, right? In the middle of the night, or before part of the nighttime process, I would get the scoop of formula, and we would batch them out into the cupcake holder things. And because again, you have to walk through the bathroom, so we lined them up in the bathroom. And then Tommy Tippy has a bottle warmer, and so what it is, it's a thermos, and you put the hot water in it, and you're supposed to be able to pour it into the top and then warm the bottle, right? No, I used it as a thermos. So what we would do is I would put the boiling hot water into the thermos, close that up. Behind each bottle that was lined up in front of the formula that was already prepped out was a bottle that had, so let's just say if I was giving her, let's say 3 ounces of water, it would have maybe about 1.5 ounces of cool water. So when she started crying in the middle of the night, I would walk to the bathroom, pick up the prepackaged water, pour that in, fill the warm water up to the 3 mark line, shake it. I could have that baby in a bottle in 30 seconds.
I needed you around when, because also get this. So we'll get back to Housewives, I promise. whenever my supply just started going down, right? Right at 6 months, I was, like I said, very lucky up until then, was exclusively not pumping and breastfeeding, but 6 months it was like tanking. And so I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm ready to, that is right when the formula shortage hit. I mean, that week that I dried up, I was like, oh, okay.
Our bodies were playing with each other because my I did it, husband, look, I got 1 ounce out of each boob. 2 ounces. That was the day I decided to give up, okay? My daughter is about 6 months at this point, and I've done all the thing. I'm the fenugreek. We're doing the massage.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
doing everything to get it to come in, right? 6 months, I'm in the shower. I am like deep into postpartum depression at this point, okay? I'm in the shower. Don't you know these things start
Spouting.
call my husband. He's like, well, you can if you want to. I said, no, this is purely Jack Daniels at this point. Like, this is ineligible. Like,
I'm not going back to sober October.
what? No, babe. That train sailed off. It's gone. It's gone. I don't know.
Yeah, once you're done, and because I tried to get it back, oh my god, I felt like using the pump. I
Like,
was
come
gonna
on,
die.
there's a shortage.
It hurts so bad, and I was getting nothing. Once you stop, it's done.
Oh yeah. And the machine is just like.
You're like, how was I doing this 5 times a day?
Where is it? No.
Okay, sorry, friends.
And
We're
that's
back.
been your birth control segment.
There you go. Birth control, or I don't know. If that doesn't,
Spouse
if that
control?
makes you want
Whatever.
to go through that again. Okay. I mean,
God bless.
God bless is right. Bless your hearts. So, this whole thing, we'll go back on this here, is the Kenya and this Martell man supposedly sliding into her DMs. Okay, so she doesn't have the message anymore. He may have used like vanish mode or something, which
Yeah,
I think
he
is,
unsent it.
yeah, whatever. But that being said, I am feeling like this is Apollo 2.0. It's like all over again with her and one of the, dudes, whatever. What do you think of Martell? Tell me.
I think Candy hit the nail on the head when she said community property. Have you seen the other woman with Cameron Diaz and Kate? What's her last name? Anyway, Cameron Diaz. The other woman, Cameron Diaz is dating this guy. He's married. She doesn't know that he's married, whatever. They end up catching him, and he finally goes, what do you want me to say? I get more ass in the toilet seat. That's Martell. But I feel the opposite. I feel like Kenya learned from her Apollo moment, and this was her trying to be like, listen, I'm being transparent. I'm not saying he wants me. I'm not saying he's a dog. I'm not saying anything. I'm saying at one point he sent me a DM, and as your friend, I just want you to know that you don't have to confront him about it here, so you can see it. Everybody can all be on the same page about all the information that is had about your community property meet. I don't like the way, but this is a trope on Atlanta, right? It happened with Cynthia and the guy that she was dating. It's like, tell me, I want to know everything. If you know something about the guy that I'm dating, that's the girl code. Tell me. Okay, I tell you. Oh, now I'm mad.
And that's the thing. And, listen, I liked the way Sheree was speaking on it in Confessional. I felt it was a very empowered way to speak on it. But it doesn't come off empowered when you, in the moment, are I don't even know what, it wasn't completely different in the moment, but it didn't read the same.
It didn't read the same, and I don't care if Kenya made it up. I don't care if it was photoshopped. I don't care if the AI creator themselves came down and handed that to Kenya. The way that man responded to that woman was inappropriate, period.
Yeah. And what we're seeing coming up next week,
if I was Sheree, I would, okay. If you respond to that woman that way, I'm not going to say too much. We'll get home safely. It'll be the last time you come to my house, though.
I don't like seeing, especially in a public setting like that, a man who will openly be yelling like that to the point where it looks like people are kind of holding him back. That is scary.
Because you're doing this in public. What happens when there's nobody there? Because if you do
in
this
front
in
of cameras.
public, I have to believe that this is your tamed down version.
Right. Because he's not new to cameras. We know that. So either he's amping it up for the cameras, or this is just, he doesn't give a shit. And that is scary. It's like Sheree's already been down that road. We know. And it's, I don't want to, I'm not, Sheree, she doesn't really bring a ton to this at the moment. I don't really, it's, she's given us some iconic moments, I guess, but like I don't know. I know everyone was excited for her return.
Storyline. There wasn't a storyline last year.
No.
There wasn't a storyline the year before that when they decided that they were going to bring her back for last year. Again, TV reference, Jane the Virgin, when Rogelio and old girl from One Day at a Time, they had the baby. The baby's name was Baby. And then they decided to stay together because she had got offered the reality show. And they were not a couple, and they hated each other off camera. And as soon as the cameras rolled, they did it because it was great for both of their careers. That is what I get from Martell and Sheree. I feel like they both benefit from each other in some capacity, or with their with their connection to one another, and that is going to work for them on camera, and that's cool. It's a relationship of convenience. I would just rather somebody say that to me.
Yeah. I'm really hoping that we get more than we did last season. Yeah, because listen, Atlanta is one of those. It kind of breaks my heart more than the other franchises. If they flop, I'm kind of like, all right, whatever. But something about it's like Atlanta. I've always watched Housewives, but I remember when Atlanta came out, it was like I felt like it was more of my gateway drug to being more into Housewives in general because it was just so good.
It was so good. And who knew these people? Like, Hartwell wasn't really playing like that. I think he was a cornerback, if I'm not mistaken. But it was just like when you were talking football, you weren't talking Hartwell. You were done talking about Bob Whitfield.
Right.
So it was like, it was the closest to just like normal gross on TV. But then they had a little bit of money, and you're like, oh, what y'all doing over there? I want to see.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it was still aspirational, So it was. Yeah, so I mean, we got to find that puzzle piece that we're looking for. I don't know who she is. We need her. Okay,
I think we're gonna get it though, or get the feel that we're looking for from this new show, Dancing Queens.
Oh, do you?
Now, let me say this: when I saw the commercial, again, nobody pays me to be like an executive producer or an AR, but I think I'm one in my head. I saw the commercial, I did not know how this was going to translate into a season 2. Like, I was watching it and I was like, okay, this seems like a good one-off, but what are we to do with this information? You know what I mean? When I watched that first episode, there's drama there. There's spaces to pull personalities and to have storylines. And these women are all accomplished women in their everyday life. But they know not a thing about media training and reality TV. Like that's not their world, their zhuzh. And so you can see it. Like, you know Candy's doing something for the camera. You know when Kenya's doing something for the camera. They don't have that know-how to be like, oh, this is going to make a good moment.
Right.
And so it's that raw,
organic
Bethany, Alex McCord that we've been missing. Like, you know what I mean? Like you filmed that?
No.
I feel like we're going to get more of that from this. And I think that's going to give us like more like 2007 reality TV feel.
Okay, interesting. Now, as you say that, it hasn't premiered yet. So you must have gotten a screener for it. No, or did it? I'm sorry.
The screening.
Oh,
I did. At NBC at 30 Rock. No. Okay. But I did. I went to the screening. We saw the first episode, and it was good. And I say that as the person who had skepticism going into it, because I was just like, where is this gonna go?
Listen, I trust you. Now I'm like, shit, we got another show to recap.
We do have another show to recap, but it's light. It's so light. It's
more funny.
It is, and they have. Did you watch Dancing with the Stars at any point?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you know how they break off and they give us the partner moments and stuff before they dance. Imagine that was its own show.
Okay.
And then imagine you get to see all of the competitors interact. So we all know that we're competing for the mirror ball, but we're all in this like space together.
And you see the shit talking and all of that.
You
that
see the shit
they're not gonna
talking.
do.
You see with Dancing with the Stars, we always play to the like, are we going to have any flings between the dancer and the pro this year? Like, you know what I mean? You get all of those illusions and all of those references and all of those things. So it's fresh.
Okay.
Nobody's talking about LGBTQ hate or anti-black hate. I love it.
Okay. So we're getting to lighten the load a little bit with that one.
Absolutely.
So to speak.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm into it because the thing with the Scandival, with all of that, and with Beverly Hills the last season, it was very heavy. And the heaviness, it's like we don't necessarily tune in to this stuff for that. It's
to escape.
Exactly. And I've said this a million times on my podcast, is that I tune in, and a lot of us do, and people will be like, oh, you just like to watch women fight. No, it's almost as if those moments that we never had anyone stand up for us, or that we weren't having the best time standing up for ourselves, we get to see someone else do it, and it just makes you feel better.
It makes you feel good. And if I'm being honest, my tax lady put me on RHOA. I didn't even used to watch RHOA back in the day.
Really?
And one day I went to go do my taxes. Miss Beverly, older lady, okay? She is like a retired teacher. And we come in, we sit down to do the taxes, and she's complaining about like last night's episode. And she's like, do you watch? And I was like, no, I actually I watch, these franchises. And she was like, this shit is human psychology. She said, you can study the behavior of people. Matter of fact, and she gave me her phone number, and she was like, go home, watch it, let me know what you think.
Listen, RHOA seasons 6 through 9 and 10, those were the golden years. Because they would still, especially, I keep talking about this recently too. I keep talking about it. When they went to Mexico for the tasting of tequila and all that for Bethany, that was so much fun to watch because they were having so much fun. It was, you felt like you were there with them. I mean, that's the stuff so sometimes I do need Bravo we do need some drama, but I like watching them have genuine fun because it's funny.
Which is why I think the Ultimate Girls Trip hit so hard. So I think it's by season 3, I think that's what's flopping. We liked the idea of just the big cash trip and everybody having a good time and letting loose. And there's going to be some drama. But overall, we're here to have fun.
Yes.
We need more of that. We need more of that. And again, I think Dancing Queens is going to give us this. We get to see women who spend $100,000 a year to compete in ballroom dancing and then cry about it. Yes, please tell me more.
It is very...
Starting with, how did you have a free $100,000?
Yeah, exactly. How did you get that money? I can find ways to spend that for you. It sounds almost like, I don't know, adult beauty pageants.
Yes, no, for sure. 100%. Nailed it.
That's what I feel like. It's a little too expensive too. Okay. Ranj, New Jersey.
Oh, Ranj.
I just want to start with this right here. The fandom is starting to grate on me to a point where I'm like, some of you are not making this fun anymore. You're doxing content creators. I don't care whose side you're on. These people don't know who you are. And if they do, Teresa is not demanding you personally, your loyalty. She doesn't care.
Doesn't care.
They are losing their shit. These fans.
They are losing it on both sides. On the content side, I've had to make a video about the doxing the content creators. We are here giving our opinions the same way people do with sports, the same way people do with politics, and we shouldn't be doxed for that. And then on the other side of that, them finding Antonia's school schedule,
horrified.
And posting it. Horrifying. And then you wonder why Rihanna and Beyonce won't talk to us, because y'all act like this.
It's as if you are not a parent, you don't even have to be a parent if there is anyone in your life that you love and want to protect in any capacity. Imagine some asshole on the internet finding that person's address so that anyone who felt like it could go pay them a visit. Put that on even if it's a dog, and listen, dogs can be family members. I'm not trying to, they are family members. if someone were to possibly be able to come after your dog. Now, and if it's my child,
right. Imagine what you would do for the doggy. Now then say, okay, now your child. Like that. It doesn't matter.
The words.
Your team Melissa, your team Teresa, your team Danielle Stubbs. It does not matter. Nobody should have ever even put their fingers down to Google that. And it's like, I can't even imagine how unsafe, how that makes, I'm not Teresa, Melissa and Joe not want to do their job, because it's like, the fans ingest this for entertainment, but Melissa and Joe are over there working. Teresa and Louie are over there working. They're providing for their family like that. So if you put them in a position where their job is a detriment to their family, but then on the content creator side as well, you're going and you're turning over rocks and you're talking about stuff that these people haven't addressed on their show. Imagine what you would do to keep your skeletons in your closet. You know what I'm saying? And then assume that these people are going to do the same for them. It doesn't justify any actions, but it's like everybody is going to try hard to protect what they feel needs to be protected, whether that be their family or their skeletons.
And that's the thing too. I can't imagine that Teresa on any level would ever be okay with someone doing that to anyone's child, especially her own niece. Like, they may all have their issues, but I would imagine Teresa would be disgusted by the person who was doing that, and especially them trying to do it in the name of, defending Teresa. She is so all about family that I think she would never want to associate with you.
All about family, and you don't bring the kids into adult issues. Period.
No.
Period. Conversations, issues. Nobody. That little girl is just that, a little girl. I don't see how you could watch that child be scared to drive through a Starbucks drive-thru and think, I'm gonna go post her cheer schedule.
It's insane. I don't know what other word, because there are so many I'd like to use.
It's weird. I don't. But now let me tell you the thing that I am liking about Jersey. I am the Jersey fan. I'm over the Melissa and the Teresa of it all. As a married person with in-laws, like Teresa said last episode, you have to make a choice to just get off the roller coaster.
Yeah.
You just have to. And if that, getting off the roller coaster looks different for everybody, right? For some people, getting off the roller coaster is just going to be like, listen, I'm going to act like I don't hear her talking, whatever, the kids, we're going to go over there, we're going to have family holidays, it's going to be good. For some people, it's complete disengaging.
No
it's
contact,
whatever. But you have to make a choice and stick to it. So I'm sick of that. But I am in to the new Danielle. I pray for the love of God they don't go find her brother and her sister-in-law, because I don't want a new generation. No. Jersey is the only franchise that doesn't follow the same format because they have Melissa and Teresa. And so if we make any adjustments to that show, I would like to see them kind of fall more into the format of a show. Like, Jersey feels like it shouldn't even really be called Real Housewives. Like,
it's a family show. It's about the whole, like I was saying this on another episode, that like every franchise for the most part has kind of their core theme. It's like, for example, New York is the East Coast New York older money, right? Then Beverly Hills typically is new money, and the opulence there and how it's a very, very different type of rich. And, we've got, then OC was just a peek behind those gates of what you imagine it might be like, okay? So then when we had New Jersey, it's family.
The high class money.
Yes. New Jersey is just purely about family. That's all it was started on. And so, like, yeah, I mean, now from the preview we saw, I love Jen Fessler. I think... She is, go ahead and make her a housewife. She doesn't have to be centerpiece holding, but make her, give her whatever it is they're holding now, if they're holding anything.
They don't hold anything, but please, for the love of God, give them a pasta fork.
There's
the picture.
Just the bowl of pasta. Or have them hold pinoli cookies. But, but that's the part too. That's so why it works, why Jersey worked before. And why it's very difficult to continue the family dynamics, because it's so nuanced, because it's things like, was Teresa really that mad about sprinkle cookies? No, it was about something so much deeper. And then it becomes, but it worked because they it's funny that she actually got that pissy about sprinkle cookies being
About
brought to her
sprinkle
house.
cookies, or even Melissa writing congratulations on your newly renovated home, and she was like, can you believe that it's my new home? Like that's the type of drama that I miss. The Joes rolling around
It's
on
funny.
the floor fighting and screaming and you're my father, like that. I don't, God, because you know
We're past
it's
it.
real. You know
We're
it's
past
real,
it
and you
now.
know it's hurt, and it's like, please go figure that out.
Yes.
Over
Now, I, from what I can tell, I would watch Jen Fessler's. I keep wanting to call them her mothers, but her mom and her sister. Did you see?
My God. Fessler and the twins. Give it to me. Andy, go get the camera.
Yes. I mean, as soon as I saw these two, and because Jen is funny.
She's hilarious.
Yes, she's a more. Now I know people have their feelings, but I have always thought that Marge was very funny. I've always liked her one-liners. I like how she can be pretty quick. But I don't like when she gets really dirty and mean.
She gets mean.
Yes, she and Jen, I don't like that like down in the gutter mean that the two of them will do, because when they are just being funny, and Jen drives me nuts, but she's funny when she's funny. And
no,
so
Jennifer Aiden is hilarious when she's light and like just bopping around her
Love
at
it.
the bridesmaids. This episode of her,
love it. It's the dirtiness that I don't like, and I feel like Jen Fessler has both of those things that are the light and funny, but she's also level-headed, and she's the one that's like, guys, what the hell? And it seems like everybody likes her.
down. Like, no, listen, babe, you were too far. You were too far.
No one else will do that with Marge either, right, that we see on the show.
I love that. And then she eats on camera. Love it.
Yes, ma'am.
Then she'll tell us about her bedroom life. And when she started talking about her bedroom life, because at first we met the Fesslers, and what's her husband's name? Like John. I'm like, of course they're like
Probably.
Jen and John Fessler.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
And then she's like, yeah, no, we cheated on each other, and then we was cheating on our peoples with this, and I messed with this person. I said, oh,
And when she said she hooked up with Tony Soprano, I was like, girl.
hello. Talking
They
about
went to an
she'd been
S&M
to
bar?
the S&M clubs. I said, what in the devious maids is happening here?
Yeah, I was like, listen, Jen is one. So I normally don't interact like a bunch with the Bravo Lebs, and I know actually you did have Teresa on your podcast recently, and my reasoning for why I don't interact with them too terribly much is because I have this problem. If someone's nice to me, I'm like, oh, they're a great person.
No, definitely. Listen, I'm a Pisces, Scorpio. That water will be. I'm like, no, they're nice. The thing though that I like with having the Housewives on is we're not talking about Bravo. So our shtick is the human behind the hot topic. So like, kind of come, take your shoes off, put your foot up on the couch,
Right.
grab a glass of whatever you prefer to drink, and like let's get to know the person behind the viral moment or behind the show
Love
and
that.
stuff of
Yeah.
that nature. So I think it gives them a chance to show themselves outside of the Bravo space, which kind of helps a little bit. But I feel like I've talked so much with doing the recap of the show and stuff. I'm always the content creator that's like, let's just remember they're human. Like,
Right.
these people will be like, such and such is a bitch. And I'm like, oh, because you know her personally?
See, the only people I think I get that way mostly just about the men on Bravo.
Because you're them.
Yeah, I get very the men are I think who really get me in that direction the most, unless someone says something pretty egregious, but or if they're Jen Shaw.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's that. But I just can't talk about like people who I don't know or people who I know are watching like that. And so when I had this opportunity to like do this show and like talk to the human being that we know they are, I was really excited about that. But I was like, I'm still making these recaps.
Yeah, keep it. And that's the thing that's hard, and that's why I've had people ask me, are you planning on having Bravo Lebs? And I'm like, I think I like the idea for me at the moment, if it's coming up at some point, and I've had opportunity, but I've kind of been like, the idea of people who are not on the shows anymore, I think I'm think that's where I'm going. But hey, I never say never to anything because I know just as soon as I say that, someone's going to be like, oh, Caitlin, Lisa Barlow wants to come on. I'm going to be like, get her ass on my podcast. Like, so.
Get Andy,
you know.
get the camera, go.
Yes.
No, but yeah, no, we plan God Lives, all of those things. If you want to, hear a really funny joke, tell the universe what you're going to do.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and I love that you're saying, so it's funny. I'm a water sign myself. What is it? The order. And so you should also listen this coming week, even though we are going to talk Vanderpump Rules. As of now, I have Stars by Alyssa scheduled to come on this coming Thursday, and we're going to chat. So, but yeah, I'm Scorpio moon, Scorpio sun, and then I'm rising Sag. So,
oh, look at you! Yeah, no, I'm a Pisces sun, Scorpio rising, Scorpio moon.
See, and it's so interesting because where people assume what people like you and I with those signs would be like. They assume that we are not going to be the ones sitting here having a conversation like this, like chit-chatting. We're supposed to be in a dark corner with black lipstick hissing or something.
And that's actually what I do once the sun goes down. But.
That's my Monday night. This is Monday during the day. Tuesday nights are a little iffy. Sometimes
my husband will be like, "Oh, what color do you want?" Such and such. I'll be like, "Black, like my soul."
Yeah, I like my insides to match my outsides. See, we're both in.
I bring color into my wardrobe and I buy a gray shirt. Like,
see, if I'm not in this, I'm in pink. Clearly, I'm the pink, or it's blue. But that's not all you get out of me.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
This was huge for me. I was like, we don't think it's too pink, right? Like,
no, they're so cute. The glasses.
I don't know how to get dressed now. I'm like, is it too much? So I'm just like, I'm really loud, cheetah print everywhere, or just
Love
black.
That. And then, and that's the thing too. It makes it easier to shop for you.
Now you know
so,
what to get me.
Yeah, exactly. There's no excuse not to buy her gifts.
Duh. Buy me things I like it.
Yeah. So before we wrap, there's one thing I do want to touch on when it comes to Jersey. Teresa getting quote unquote caught in the car, not inviting Melissa and Joe to the Avra dinner. Now, I posted on Twitter about this, and now I think there should be a differentiation between the stans and the fans. Fans tend to be a bit more normal. The stans are psychotic.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to go ahead and call you that.
In the most respectful way, please leave us alone.
Yeah, please. Oh my God. But I was like, man, that wasn't a good look, because the way to me it looked when Louis called Teresa, if he had not said he was planning to text like Jackie and Evan, Marge and Joe, but not Melissa and Joe, I would have been like, whatever. But it looks like they're planning to invite the whole cast except Melissa and Joe. And that to me was a bad look.
Was it bad? I mean, I feel like it was 100% what I expected. And listen, Teresa has been on Housewives in New Jersey since episode 1, season 1. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Teresa has a producer. Her and that house ain't that big. Louis knew she was filming, okay? We know when film season is. It wasn't a surprise. Not only that, the girls were filming as well. So I feel like there's definitely a conversation. Even though Louis isn't their biological dad, I feel like there's a conversation. Okay, the girls will be with me because we're filming X, Y, and Z. You think she thought she was going to a surprise lunch with the girls. Oh. Louis knew about that. This phone call did exactly what I feel like they wanted them to do, which was talk. And you know what's coming up? We've got a wedding special coming up. What better than to talk and make people want to say, well, did they end up going? What happened? I feel like this is them producing.
Yeah. Well,
and also it's my wedding day. I want good vibes. No, I wouldn't invite him either.
Yeah. See, and that's where it's a very divided house, because to me, I'm like, just freaking invite them. Who gives a shit? Don't pay attention to them. It's your wedding day, whatever. And let me just say this too. Y'all are not about to have me believe that Teresa had no idea wearing that white dress. It was a beautiful white dress, but wearing that white dress with the sequin and everything to a lunch. Come on now. It looked like someone could wear that to the courthouse to get married, and they would have been a little dressed up.
Carrie Bradshaw, Mr. Big.
Yes. Now, come on. To me, I'm that person that's like, just freaking invite them. Let's move on, whatever. Now, I would have also from the beginning, and this is where everyone, just like you were saying, everyone handles the way they want to do it differently. From the beginning, I would have been like, I either would have said, okay, only like the kids and one or two friends are going to be in our wedding party, right? It was one of those things, do all or nothing when it came to that. Now, because I would have gone ahead and been like, Melissa, do you want to be in the wedding party if I wasn't just doing because that's a big wedding party already, just with her daughters. Right. So there was excuse enough as there was. But then it just like the more it kept getting brought up and the more it kept, like it just got worse and worse and worse.
That was the thing for me. I'm very much so my husband and I, we went to the courthouse. But when we were planning a wedding, we wanted sage lit at the door, like in its shell, so that when people walked through, they had to walk through the sage just to clear. I'm very energy. I want people that are going to be there, people who even in their silent thoughts, they're rooting for me. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want any no bad vibes, period. So my thing is I wouldn't do it. But I'm also once I've made my decision and once my husband is on board, we're on the same page, this is what we're going to do. I'm grown as hell. I didn't ask you for no money. Don't ask me to explain my decisions. They're not invited.
Yeah. And that's fair too.
Why aren't you inviting them? Oh, you would need to talk to them. And then I'm also the like, if I have a problem with Caitlyn, the only person that I'm going to talk to about it is Caitlyn. Because if I talk to Bob can't do jack shit about Caitlyn, right? So we're not having that conversation. Bob is only going to mess it up, even if he has good intentions. We all know how the game of telephone goes. So no, they're not invited. Oh, well, no, I'm only talking about their invitation status with them. We talk about anything else though, and that's where it would have ended for me. It would have just been no, and then there would have been no explanation.
See, and that's the thing too, is I feel like no one handled this properly, in my opinion. And the thing is too, if I were Melissa, and it got to the point where Teresa is saying to me, well, would you like to be a bridesmaid? And I don't love the way Teresa said it to her, but if you're going to ask her, just ask her. If I were Melissa in that moment, I would have been like, you know what, Teresa, thank you. Sure, I will. And I then would have shut the hell up. I wouldn't have said another goddamn word. But it's like you can't bitch about it. And then when you get some form of an invitation to do it, not do it.
No, for sure. Heavy on that.
It's just kind of like everyone kept tiptoeing and then getting aggressive, and it'd be a tiptoe and aggression. And there was no like, all right, here's the conversation. And I think that's where it got, that's why everyone is also so over the Gorgas versus Teresa, is that it's like.
But at this point, 18 years later, everybody's right? Like Teresa is valid in all of the feelings and in all of the experiences she had. Melissa is valid in all of her experience and all of the things she's had. Joe is valid. Joe Judites is valid. You know what I mean? At 18 years later, we literally have to make the decision to say, going forward, we're never going to talk about it again.
Yeah, and just be done.
Genuinely don't do that. You had your reasonings for whatever you did to me. I had my reasonings for whatever I did to you, whether they were stemmed because of your action, then my action, then he didn't like that action. It doesn't matter what happened. The dominoes fell. Okay? Are we leaving them there? Or are we picking them back up?
I mean, and that's the thing too, is like, and I used to have in-laws, and I know you have in-laws, and even I have a sibling that I have a sister-in-law. Like, family dynamics, when you are a new person coming into someone else's family, already that's really difficult because everyone communicates, like families have a specific way they communicate with each other, right? And they have certain ways that they can say things to each other that it maybe doesn't hurt one another's feelings, that if, because my ex-in-laws were from New Jersey themselves. So sometimes the way they could communicate, me being from Oklahoma, I'm like, and I'm not trying to even just make it about the areas. It just is a different way that people communicate in some parts of the world.
Jersey is very, very shorthand. If I can say it in 3 words, I'm not going to use 30. And
Exactly.
And there's no meanness behind it. It's like, my husband and I laugh about this all the time, but Jersey is really like, you have to hear the question, right? So if I'm asking you, can you pass me that water? Some might say that's like rude because you didn't say please, but it's like my tone and the way that I ended the sentence and I went up, as opposed to maybe in Georgia, it's like, hey babe, if you're not busy, you mind passing me that water, please?
There you go.
Yeah, we ain't doing that in Georgia.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, you know? And so that's like the family's coming together, and that's where you either kind of have to say, look, we're going to make the effort. And I think they both have tried, and I loved it when Melissa and Teresa were on each other's side. I liked those seasons when they could team up and have each other's back. I appreciated that because, you know, not everyone we knew what it took to get there, I think is more what I'm trying to say.
Part.
So, you know, and there was a certain appreciation for that. Now, I mean, I don't know where we go from here. And that's the thing is, like, you know, Melissa's been making it clear, kind of doing her rounds. She doesn't know she's getting asked back. And if the network is going to have to choose between Teresa and Melissa, we know who they're choosing. They are going to choose Teresa.
They're choosing Teresa every time. Like, every single time. I'm
no tray hugger, and I tend to typically side with the Gorgas when I see certain situations, but like, I would choose Teresa too.
I'm a tree hugger as the show goes, right? But as the drama goes, as the wife, I identify with Melissa so much. The new person ends up becoming the scapegoat, right? Because it's so easy to say, oh, because this person has entered in, as opposed to say, like, I really had some issues with my brother for a very long time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and so the
real
wife,
issue.
Right, you know, and then it's the Jersey, the Italian of it all. Oh, it's the wife's fault. It's the wife's job to put it back together. So I feel for her, like, as a human being in that in-law situation, so hard. But when it just comes to the entertainment, to the show, to the way you finessed being a housewife and all of that, I side more to the tree side of it all.
She brings it, you know. She does at the end of the day.
Oh, it's already been brought.
Yes, honey. But I mean, that's just the way it's going to go. And I think if they just go ahead and, I don't know, if they try and keep everyone on the same as it is, which I wouldn't put it past them to try and do. I would not put it past them. I think Teresa will leave.
I think if their ears are open, they will.
Yeah. Well,
good luck, God bless, you know?
Yeah. Oh, but I mean, who are we to judge?
Yeah. Listen, NBC ain't paid me to do nothing, so all of these is just my unsolicited opinions.
I solicited your opinion, okay? I asked for it. Well, you know what, Elle? It has been so fun having you on. I have to have you back on. I feel like you and I could absolutely talk for hours. And again, friends, go check out her podcast is Haute Topics, and that's spelled Haute Topics. And she's also Housewives and Chit Chat. And I'm just so grateful to have had this afternoon chit chat with you.
Chit chat, yes, I know. It was amazing. Thanks for having me. I'm back anytime.
Good.
So let's do
you
it
better
again.
be. Okay, friends.
We're friends now. You're stuck with me.
Yeah, sorry. It's forever. Okay, friends, leave like a cute review and then go check out her podcast as well. All right, we will see you next week, or later this week, actually, I should say. Bye.